This is K2 News at 5 on your side.
Developing tonight, the St. Helens School District opening up about multiple new hires and steps it's taking to address the fallout of a sex abuse scandal. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Deborah Knapp. The district has spent weeks dodging our questions about its handling of abuse allegations. Today, it finally agreed to give us some answers. K2's Christina Giardinelli has been on your side working to get those answers. She joins us live from St. Helens. Christina, the district hired a public relations consultant to answer your questions.
Yes, Deb, they brought in Thomas Delap to deal with the fallout from that sex abuse scandal. Now, he's been the first person from the school district to answer our questions since the early days of this scandal when the district held their last open to the public board meeting. When news first broke about the arrest of two St. Helens high school teachers for sex abuse charges, K2 reporter Thamvi Verma had questions for school officials.
How did you not know about it?
In the weeks that followed, amid student-led protests, an official resigning, others placed on administrative leave, and the high school principal facing charges for allegedly neglecting to protect students, the school district continued to dodge our questions. How can you purport transparency and yet refuse to take questions from the media at a press conference? On Friday, things finally changed, as newly hired public relations consultant Thomas Delap opened up about the district's challenges in dealing with the scandal's fallout.
Have been concerns that we've been a little slow in getting to the community with information. We right now have the superintendent on leave, the high school principal on leave, and we've got the president, chair of the board, who has resigned. So that left a leadership void.
He promised more transparency and spent time answering my questions, including some about the district's newly appointed acting superintendent, Dr. Steve Webb. We have information that he's separated on a $500,000 severance package. No information as to what happened, why he was placed on paid administrative leave. Can you speak to that? And can you also speak to why the district chose to hire somebody who is placed on paid administrative leave from his last school-related job?
I think that's an important question. And this happens fairly frequently in public schools, where when you have an election change and board members come in, they feel they have new mandates, new priorities, and they may decide that what they want is a change of direction in their leadership, not necessarily related to any conduct or behavior or cause or anything else. So now, why did we hire him? Well, he was available. He has a lot of expertise.
Now, he says the community here in St. Helens was also asking for someone from outside of the community, and Webb fit the mold for that. Now, the school has this week, the district has launched an external third-party investigation into everything that happened with these abuse allegations, and they expect to make the results of that investigation public over the next couple months. We'll be keeping close track and bringing you the latest. For now, you can log into our website, k2.com, for much more information on this. For now, live in St. Helens, Christina Giardinelli, K2 News.
Christina, thank you. Next week, a state mediator will step in to help with contract negotiations between the Beaverton School District and the Teachers Union. Both sides have been working on a new contract since February, but talks stalled last month. At that time, the district told us they and the union were more than $200 million apart in terms of the costs of their proposals. The district and Teachers Union will hold their first session with the mediator on Monday, and will continue to track developments and keep you posted. Parents and neighbors in Northwest Portland are calling on the city to do something about open drug use around schools and parks. A group of them meets regularly at Couch Park to discuss solutions. K2's Emily Gersh met with them today. Emily, this group has been reporting their concerns to police and the city. What's happened?
Well, Deb, that's what I'm trying to find out. One of the neighbors told me that they got a response back from the mayor's office in August. But we were at the park earlier today and we saw several people openly using drugs in an area where children play.
Needles all over the playgrounds, all over the routes to school, excrement thrown at us, excrement on the ground on the way to school. We've been threatened by campers in the area.
That's what Megan Scornia says the walks are like from her home in Northwest Portland to the nearby preschool her son attends.
Our children are scared. Our children are asking, why are these people in the tents yelling at us? They're asking why people are bleeding on the streets. They're asking what these needles are. They're picking up needles at the park and bringing them to us.
She and her family moved to Portland 2 years ago. They were searching for something different.
One of the reasons we moved here is the focus on equity and accepting of all people. But after living here 2 years, children are not welcome here. Women aren't really welcome here.
On Friday, she met with a group of other concerned parents and neighbors at Cooch Park. The group calls themselves the Friends of Cooch Park.
We meet every Friday. We're just a bunch of neighbors. We try to create a presence in the park.
Cooch Park is right behind the Metropolitan Learning School. On Friday morning, we saw children playing at the park and on the school's playground. We also saw people nearby openly using drugs. In August, one of the community members emailed the mayor's office, Portland police, and school officials. A spokesperson from the mayor's office responded and said PPS is working with PPB and Portland Parks and Rec Rangers to increase patrols and address safety concerns. But when we reached out to PPS about the continuing problems, a spokesperson told us, quote, "I just spoke with the school and there have been no issues whatsoever with anyone being near or on the playground and interfering with students." Meanwhile, parents remain frustrated.
When are we going to put the rights of children? And I'm not talking one child, I'm talking hundreds of children.
I certainly would not call Portland family friendly at this moment.
Now, the mayor's office referred us to Portland Parks and Rec, and a spokesperson there told us that park rangers do visit this park daily. PPB also said that they routinely patrol the area around this park and school. PPS did not return our requests for comment. They did not answer any of our follow-up questions. We're live in Northwest Portland tonight. Emily Gersh, KATU News.
Emily, thank you. Right now, the city of Vancouver hearing feedback about a planned winter shelter for the homeless. As KATU reported yesterday, some parents are concerned about the shelter's proximity to a nearby elementary school. The shelter is set to open at the community library building on East Mill Plain, right by the Vancouver Innovation, Technology and Arts School, or VITA Elementary. Parents told us they're worried about unwanted visitors on campus and potential criminal activity. The city says the shelter will only accept people by referral who can pass a background check. The shelter will be open after school hours only. Tonight, the search continues for a missing Bend woman who could be in the Portland area. This is 76-year-old Cheryl Guardo. You may have seen her name on freeway traffic signs. She was last seen driving near Highway 58 in Lowell, southeast of Eugene. Guardo suffers from dementia. She was last seen driving her 2022 Toyota RAV4, Oregon license plate D47900. If you see her, call police. And tonight, officials in Salem are urging caution after a cougar was spotted in a park. Take a look at this picture of the cougar. It was spotted recently at Minto Brown Island Park. Salem Park's field supervisor says the cougar is using game trails. They're telling park goers to be particularly cautious at dawn and dusk when cougars are the most active. Some advice from the experts to avoid encountering a cougar: be alert, make noise, keep dogs on a leash, and carry pepper spray, or bear spray rather. Oregon Zoo has welcomed 2 orphaned cougar cubs into its care. The male and female cubs were found wandering in southwest Washington last month. Officials determined the cubs would not have survived in the wild without their mom. The Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife brought the cubs to the zoo. They're estimated to be about 4 months old. Plans are in place to eventually move them to the cougar habitat in the zoo's Great Northwest area. Portland Trailblazers host the Utah Jazz tonight at the Moda Center. Tip-off is at 7. At home, you can watch for free on K2.2, Charge, or Xfinity Channel 1170. After the game, join K2 Sports Director Tyree Smith, Danny Meringue, Joe Simons for our post-game show, the Rip City Wrap-Up. That's also on K2.2 Charge and streaming on YouTube. Tomorrow, for the first time since 2016, the Big Ten will have a conference champ who is not Michigan or Ohio State. The Oregon Ducks, who are newcomers to the conference, will face the Penn State Nittany Lions at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. It's been a while since Oregon and Penn State have seen each other. In fact, the last time was 1995 Rose Bowl, when the Ducks lost 38-20. Much is at stake in this game. Winner gets a first-round bye, and the newly expanded 12-team playoff kickoff is at 5 p.m.
The following segment is sponsored by Providence Foundations of Oregon.
Time now for a look at our weather forecast. Meteorologist Dave Salesky's got the good assignment tonight at the Festival of Trees, but it is the finale this year. Dave?
It's a very nice event out here. We're getting some folks coming in this evening. Question for you, Deb. Does red and pink clash?
I don't
This
think so.
is the I'm Dreaming of a Pink Christmas display out here at Providence Festival of Trees. The cool thing about this is all the items you see back here, the cooler, the wine, the champagne, the pink Christmas tree. There's also a trip to Palm Springs included in this one for 7 days and 6 nights. So if you maybe don't want to do Christmas this year in the Pacific Northwest, where it can be a little cloudy, a little dreary, a little damp, always Palm Springs available to you if you buy this one. And I'm told the asking right now or price for this is $13,000. But it does include all this and a week in Palm Springs. In the meantime, again, as we've been telling you earlier, Steve and I were talking about this, kind of reminiscing. This is the last of the 42 years of the Providence Festival of Trees. And again, tonight, the big gala down here to raise money for the Providence organization. And again, weather-wise across the Northwest, we've got some big changes to talk about across the area. There's our live camera, of course, in Spanish Head, Lincoln City, where we are seeing that this hour. Now, they're reporting fair skies, but again, we have overcast skies now with 53 degrees, the current temperature there. Obviously, has not updated in the last half hour. In the meantime, downtown Portland, live look now from the Standard Insurance Tower. We do have overcast skies being reported here and 41 degrees. Light southeast winds at about 11 miles an hour. The good news is if you're out in East Multnomah, East Clark County, those strong, gusty east winds the past 4 days are tapering off right now and become more westerly overnight tonight, so we're going to be ending those. And, of course, touch marking on the West Hills, reporting fair skies there. 41 degrees the current temperature this hour, up at touch mark and also over on the west side as we speak. Now, here are the highs today. Hit 47 here in Portland, 37, though, for the Dalles. Over on the coast, look at Tillamook today, getting very warm to 59 this afternoon, 52 in Astoria. Further east you go, a little cooler around the Pendleton area, just 31 degrees, and it was 37 this afternoon in Redmond, where they finally got rid of that area of some freezing fog they've been dealing with now the past 4 or 5 days. Now, again, changes taking place in the forecast tonight. So increasing clouds in the next few hours. We'll see a cold front move on by late tonight. That's going to bring rain on shore by tonight going into tomorrow morning. Back behind that cold front, we transition to showers for tomorrow. Then snow levels dropping in the Cascades down well below pass elevation by late tomorrow night and going into Sunday before higher pressure and drier air moves back in by late Sunday night and going into Monday, putting us back into a dry weather pattern for the first part, even towards the middle part of next week. So again, rainfall coming, and it looks like right now in our computer models, anywhere from perhaps upwards of maybe an inch to 1.5 inches of rain possible over the next 48 hours. So a fairly damp night and a fairly soggy Saturday on tap for you for tomorrow. In the Cascades, we're talking about seeing some snow as well, and our snowfall totals in the Cascades maybe upwards of 2 inches of snow up around the government camp area. Further south you go, say down towards the Sandy Ann Pass area, maybe 5 and maybe about 3 to 4 inches of snow in and around Mount Jefferson between now and going into Sunday. And again, that's going to be basically for tomorrow night. So if you're out for Christmas tree this weekend, if this isn't putting you in the spirit, nothing else will. For tomorrow on Saturday, cloudy skies and rain with the snow about 5,000 feet. Local temperatures will be in the 50s. Sunday, showers with snow in the Cascades up around the 3,000-foot elevation. But again, locally, temperatures in the low 50s across the region. So your forecast tomorrow on the coast, cloudy skies and rain. Showers by the afternoon with southwest winds. And afternoon high temperatures, it will be in the low to mid-50s. Moving into the Willamette Valley, cloudy skies, wetter weather back in the forecast. As a matter of fact, our first rain for the month of December happens tomorrow, with south winds about 10 to 15 miles an hour, highs upper 40s to low 50s. Gorge in the Cascades, cloudy skies and rain in the Gorge with snow in the Cascades by the afternoon, down to about 5,000 feet, about 3,000 feet by early on Sunday. High temperature tomorrow for the Dalles at 44, and tomorrow's high temperature for Hood River at 48 degrees. Central and eastern Oregon, a little dicey over here. Going to have some morning freezing rain and or rain before things begin to warm up over there. Then cloudy skies and rain by the afternoon with south winds about 5 to 10 miles an hour and could be a little gusty in the afternoon. Now, 7-day forecast again tonight. Overnight low down to about 40. Cloudy skies and rain developing late tonight. Rain much of the day on Saturday. As we said, maybe upwards of an inch of rain or more. Showers for you on Sunday and a high again of 50. Then back to a dry weather pattern on Monday and Tuesday with a chance of some showers late in the day on Wednesday and a better likelihood of seeing wetter weather going into next Thursday and next